beautiful biscuits, welcome back. Come sit down with me and let's find out how I am simplifying and organizing my life better so that it doesn't feel so chaotic. Well, there you are, biscuits. So, ever since our move, it has just felt so chaotic everywhere that I have been in the house. It feels like no matter what I'm doing, however I'm tidying, it's just pure chaos. And I am trying to learn how to better organize my life to feel at ease, to enjoy this season, because it's really a beautiful season when my kids are young and I get to be in a creative field, but my life has just felt really chaotic. So this is what I've been doing that has really helped. The first one, I've heard this referred to as a command center. That sounds more like you're going to war. I like just to make a spot in my house where we have a calendar with all of our schedule on it. Any appointments we're doing, any important events that are coming up. I like to have our little chore charts that everybody can see. In fact, I will share, you know what, I'll share it on Instagram so that you can download a copy of our chore chart that I've made, because it is necessary. I need to buy a new printer so I can print out our fall chore charts because my printer broke. So I've got the calendar, I've got the chores, and then I also do meal prep list, shopping list, because a shopping list can be more than a meal prep. You know, it's all the other things you need in your house other than your mealtime. But I'll look at, I normally do 5 to 6 days of food. I tend to stick around 5 because then we like to do leftovers. I don't want to waste food. So 5 days a week I want to have in my little command center, my little family center, what meals we're basically going to have so that I know what ingredients do we have in the pantry. And I'll look in the fridge, freezer, pantry, like, oh, okay, what are things we should be using, what are things we need to get, and then that affects the shopping list. And it's just really handy to have that all together. It makes a huge difference in the amount of time I have to spend organizing and being a housekeeper for the house, and just then being able to enjoy being a mom and enjoy living in my own home. It's really helpful. And I know it sounds complicated, it's not. It's literally buy a notepad, buy a calendar, and buy like some sticky notepads so that you can then take those for your shopping list. You just stick them up on a wall somewhere. You can use push pins, whatever you want. You can have it as aesthetically Pinterest as you want, but it's just a really nice way to organize and simplify. I swear, and this is coming from a chaos monkey, so you remember that. If I say it works and it's doable, like anyone with no attention span can make this work. A second thing I did for simplifying is I decluttered my space. I can't say this enough how important this is. Declutter, be merciless. Give away things, sell things on Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist. Throw away everything you can. I decluttered hardcore before this move. I mean, I was merciless. And I just like tossed stuff and gave stuff away, handed stuff off. I was like, whatever, you know. And still, it doesn't all fit in our little small space. So I have really gotten to a place of like, does it need to be here? Then it can adios. Because decluttering is such a good way to simplify. And I resisted this. I am not a minimalist, I'm a maximalist. I like all the shiny trinkets in the house and the curtains and the decor. Like, I want too many throw pillows. But what I learned is that when my house is cluttered, it is impossible to keep clean, because there's just not enough space to take things and clean them. It's just impossible, for me at least. And so what I had to do is really declutter to what are we using, what are we going to need next season, keep that around. Anything else has got to go. And it's really hard to do. Like, I'm getting my kids to temporarily part with a beanbag they love, and it's a beanbag that's the whole size of my living room. Literally, I think you saw in a video maybe when we moved in, it goes from like wall to wall in the space because this is not a large space in here, and it's going into storage. So if it's, for me, if it's a thing that I know we need next season but not now, in this particular season of our life, it goes into a $100 a month storage unit. And that's ridiculous that I spend $100 a month on a storage unit, but it lets us know it's cheaper to do that for a couple months than to rebuy the item. So that's where I calculate when I'm decluttering. Is it cheaper to rebuy an item than to move with it or to put it in storage? And ask yourself that in 3-month segments. How long are you keeping this? If you've kept it for more than 3 months and you don't need it, and there's not an active reason you haven't been able to use it, then I would say just get rid of it. Because there's stuff I have in storage that I miss. There's just not room for. And so I know that's good stuff that I put into storage because it's something I'm going to use again. I have some work and photography equipment that I just can't use right now because I don't have the space for it. But I know next season of my life, I will be using that again. So I'm not going to declutter it, but get rid of as much as you can. I actually decluttered our crafting area too much. I've had to rebuy things, and they aren't expensive things, but I just feel silly. So sometimes you can go overboard. So really look at how you're decluttering. Okay, this is a way that I simplified, and it was very unboss babe of me. So much when we're talking about simplifying our life, we hear about how to simplify as mothers or as wives or as homemakers. I simplified my work. I said no to some big job opportunities because it meant that I would be away from my kids and my family for longer periods of time. It meant I was going to have to spend a lot more time working on these opportunities. And it was just a lot of logistics that was going to take a lot of my mental bandwidth and my physical bandwidth to do. And so I just said no. I said not in this season of life. And I know it's shocking, an American turning down the opportunity to make money. But part of simplifying is having a life that costs less to lead. And I've never lived an extravagant life. It's not my style, But learning to say, you know what, I really like this season of my job. I really love what I'm doing. I love the creative fulfillment. But bigger isn't always better for me in this moment in time. And that is really, I had to stick to my guns on that one. To really be dedicated to simplifying. I was like, if you're just simplifying your personal life and you're making your work life so much more complicated and time consuming, that tells me where we're valuing our time, right? Would rather be here working, and we'll simplify everything else so that we can work more. Is that really what we want to be doing with our time? Maybe it is, it really is. I feel so drawn to working more because I love the work that I get to do, but I have to remind myself I'm simplifying to have a better life balance and better happiness, and that does not necessarily mean so that I can work longer hours. Biscuits. This one really surprised me. So I moved from like outy skirts of areas to in a city, a town, city. I mean, it calls itself city, but is it? And I ended up driving so much more than when I had to do an hour round trip to go do anything. So much more because I didn't simplify my shopping. I would go out and, I need to grab a jug of milk. I need to go grab a donut for dessert. I need to go grab this. I'm going to go to the store and pick up a pair of shoes for the kids. Constantly, all the time. Instead of what I used to do when it was an hour plus round trip for me to go anywhere, is we would go once a week. Sometimes we would go every other week, but generally once a week, and we would do 3 to 5 errands in that time. We'd spend several hours out of the house and would just get everything done. And I gotta say, there's something really nice about having instant availability to just go get things, and little small things like maybe you need some baking powder or something. That is really nice. But I did find that it was consuming a lot of time, because even if it's 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, 20 minutes in the store, it was these little segments of time that were not being very intentional and were not in any way simplifying our life. Like, I thought being more close to things would simplify our life. It honestly did not. So now that I am in a space right now where I am pretty darn far away from anything that we would actually normally go get and do, I'm trying to look at the positive of that and say, okay, I'm going to use this as a tool for simplifying. I'm going to go back to, let me change your diaper. I'm going to go back to organizing our week to where we go in to town once a week and we do all of our errands and things. And then there's a second day we go in where we go in and we do like the fun stuff or something. So think about how you're spending your week for simplifying your life in shopping. What are you shopping for? What are you getting? Can you just do a once a week shop for whatever your things are, like an errand day? Get that all done and have a lot more free mental and physical time to enjoy your life. Because that's what simplifying is about, right? Simplifying is not about taking things away from your life to make it more miserable. Simplifying is about figuring out what you're prioritizing in your life and putting energy towards that and not all the other stuff that distracts us. So if you want to follow along for more simplifying, come on over to Patreon, and I will share some more fabulous simplifying as we round out our Camp Primal month. This is going to be the end of the season. I can't believe it. We've done Camp Primal all summer. I've had so much fun. I've done the first time ever where I did daily new videos for 2 weeks. I've never done that on Patreon. And we've made wonderful connections. We haven't quite gotten up to my 2,000 patrons that I was hoping for in this summer, but I'm hoping this fall we hit the number over to 2,000 patrons, because that would be so lovely and so amazing. And it encourages me to make some bigger, longer format videos on there. So I would love to see you over on Patreon. And you know what? Honestly, as we simplify our lives, something that I have found, and I genuinely have found this is important, is connection. And for me, I love social media connection. That fits my brain really well. In-person connection, absolutely. But social media connection is so important. Investing in courses and education and inspiration so that our simplified lives are simplifying towards happiness is really beautiful. I want to see you in the next one.